Well, I think the most fascinating aspect of personalization when it comes to the beauty and fashion space as compared to other areas is that in these industries, it's largely consumer driven or consumer initiated, unlike in social media or other kind of online usages where people are kind of collecting data secretly behind your back without your knowing and you never asked for it. Customers are actually wanting personalization of their makeup products, of their skincare routine, of their clothes. So they are ready and willing to give up so much more, I feel, of their personal data in order to obtain that personalization. However, the risks are, even multiplied. Now someone's not just tracking your movements online or like kind of collecting your name and potentially your address and your zip code. Now they're doing things like your facial structure, your bone structure. If you sweat using a certain material, what you would look like if you aged, right? Things like that. What various nail polish colors would look like on you, shapes and colors of nails, jewelry try-on features. This is all happening right now in the fashion and beauty industry. The technology is already out there being used, and people are voluntarily doling out their data in order to be able to take advantage of this customization. So I think what's really interesting as well in the beauty space is some of this information, and I think anyone who has had experience in the consumer products industry is familiar with this, but a lot of the skincare stuff and some of the makeup stuff, they border on medicine, right? Like treating acne for skin. So now you're, delving into a whole new realm of privacy concerns. And, if we're talking about someone's heart rate or fitness apps and how they track and using that to customize your clothing or your makeup, your body shape, all of these things, it's just so much more invasive than other areas of companies out there. So, I think, the obvious things that companies had to think about before when it came to data collection, they have to think about now. Like, why are they collecting this data? Are they collecting it because they absolutely need it to do this personalization? And really looking at that at a very granular level, like every piece of data that you're collecting, do you need it? Second, how long are you retaining it? Are you only using it during the try-on process? Are you communicating to your customer that you're only using it for the try-on process? Are people who have customer profiles set up being given more disclosure than those who don't? Is more of their data being saved on a consensual basis than those who don't have customer profiles? And then after they use it, how long are you going to retain it? If I replace a mascara, it's probably every couple of months. If I, try out an eyeshadow, I probably buy, eyeshadows, I don't know, twice a year or something like that. I buy a whole bunch twice a year. So after 6 months, does the company need to retain whatever data I use to try on? Or even after the 5 minutes that I try it on, do they need to retain that data, and why? And the other thing is all of this information that's being used to recommend other products and what's best for you. What is that based on? I want to know, is that based on my data when I tried on something? Same thing with eyeglasses and facial structure and shape. So all of the same issues that we're looking at in AI, like where did this data come from? These copyright lawsuits by Sarah Silverman and others that we're seeing in the AI space. They want to know, hey, did you use my book as your training data for these algorithms? And I think customers are going to want to know in the end, are you using my face shape, structure, body type information about my personal attributes to build these tools that recommend products to other people? And in the process of preparing for this, like I said, I tend to try to prepare for things to the best extent possible. I went on one of these skin customization websites and filled out their quiz and in an anonymous way, and put all the wrong information in there. But I just went through, there's this company that analyzes and tailors your skincare regime to 40 different factors about your skin and your habits. And so I went in there, I was entering all this data or whatever, just to see what it was like. And one of the questions that I came across was your zip code. And I'm like, why are they asking me my zip code? Well, it turns out they are using factors such as what the weather is like, whether there's smog and air pollution, which is on its face a great idea, right? To take into account your locality, how much sun exposure you might have, things like that. But did they need to ask my zip code in order to obtain that information? couldn't they have just asked me, do you live in a high population area with lots of pollution, or how often are you exposed to sun, without asking me my zip code, and then the ripple effects of that, right? Like, are you saving that? Are you collecting that? Are you using that to target me personally, et cetera, et cetera.